Today we're diving into the transformative power of the no contact rule. This isn't just a strategy to get someone back or to make a point, it's a pathway to reclaiming your peace, self-worth, and power. Let us explore the signs that show this period of silence is doing its work in your life and spirit. When you decide to embrace the no contact rule, one of the most profound and immediate changes you begin to notice is a shift in your emotional landscape. At first, this can feel like stepping into uncharted territory. There may be discomfort, resistance, or even fear. These are natural responses to breaking free from the patterns of connection that, whether healthy or not, had become familiar. Yet, as the days turn into weeks, something incredible begins to happen. The chaos within you starts to settle, and the noise that once dominated your mind begins to quiet. The sense of calm that emerges is not just about the absence of external communication, it's a reflection of an internal realignment. For so long, your energy may have been scattered, directed outward towards someone else, trying to make sense of their actions, their words, and their intentions. This constant preoccupation drains the spirit. It leaves little room for you to focus on yourself or to feel grounded in the present moment. The no contact rule interrupts that cycle. It creates a sacred space where you can finally breathe, think, and be without interference. In this newfound calm, you may notice that your emotions become more manageable. Where once there were constant waves of anxiety, self-doubt, or longing, there is now a growing sense of stability. This doesn't mean that the pain disappears overnight. It takes time to process and heal, but the intensity begins to diminish. You start to regain control over how you feel, rather than being at the mercy of external triggers. This period of calm is like the stillness after a storm. It allows you to see things more clearly. Without the constant back and forth or emotional tug of war, you can step back and assess the relationship for what it truly was. You begin to notice patterns, both in the other person's behavior and in your own, that you may have overlooked before. This clarity is a gift, for it shows you what worked, what didn't, and what you truly need in a connection moving forward. As your mind quiets, so too does your body respond. Stress often manifests physically through tension, fatigue, or even illness, and letting go of the constant strain of unresolved emotions brings a profound sense of relief. You may find yourself sleeping better, breathing deeper, and feeling lighter in your daily life. This physical relaxation mirrors the emotional release that no contact allows. Moreover, this calm creates space for reflection and self-discovery. Without the distractions of a tumultuous relationship or the constant need to engage with another person, you have the opportunity to turn inward. You can reconnect with parts of yourself that may have been neglected or forgotten. Perhaps you rediscover hobbies, passions, or dreams that once brought you joy. Or maybe you simply take the time to rest and nurture yourself, recognizing that you are worthy of care and attention, just as much as anyone else. In this process, you may also begin to redefine your boundaries. The calmness you feel is a reminder of what life can be like when you prioritize your well-being. It becomes easier to see where you've compromised too much in the past and to set intentions for healthier relationships in the future. This is not about building walls, but about creating a foundation of mutual respect and balance, one that starts with how you treat yourself. The calmness also allows you to trust the journey. When you're caught in the whirlwind of a challenging relationship or breakup, it's easy to feel lost, as though you'll never find your way back to happiness. But as the noise subsides, you realize that healing isn't linear, and that's okay. You begin to understand that every day of no contact is a step forward, even if it doesn't always feel that way. This awareness brings patience and faith in your ability to navigate this chapter of your life. Ultimately, the calm you feel is not just about the absence of the other person, it's about the presence of yourself. It's about coming back to your center and reclaiming the parts of you that were given away or overlooked. It's a reminder that your peace is priceless and that you have the power to protect and nurture it. As this calmness deepens, it becomes a foundation for your continued growth. It gives you the strength to face your emotions honestly, to process what needs to be released, and to embrace the future with hope. It is in this stillness that you find the courage to move forward, knowing that you are capable of creating a life filled with love, joy, and fulfillment starting from within. So as you embrace this calm, honor it. Let it remind you of your resilience and your ability to heal. Let it guide you back to the truth that you are whole, even in the absence of someone else. And let it inspire you to continue building a life that feels aligned with your highest self. When you embrace the no contact rule, one of the most profound transformations you'll experience is the rediscovery of your value. This journey isn't just about cutting ties with someone else, it's about reconnecting with yourself. For too long, your worth may have been tied to the opinions, actions, or validations of another person. Perhaps you gave so much of yourself to maintain the connection that you forgot your own needs, desires, and boundaries. The no contact rule creates the necessary space for you to step away from external influences and turn your focus inward. At first, this might feel unfamiliar or even uncomfortable. When you're used to looking to someone else for affirmation, the absence of their presence can feel like a void. But in truth, this emptiness is an opportunity. It's a blank canvas upon which you can begin to redefine your sense of self. Without the constant noise of someone else's expectations or judgments, you can finally hear your own voice again. As the days pass, you start to see yourself more clearly. You begin to remember the qualities that make you unique, the traits, talents, and passions that set you apart. You realize that your value isn't dependent on whether someone chooses to acknowledge it. It's intrinsic, unchanging, and entirely yours. This realization is both empowering and liberating. It shifts your perspective from seeking approval to owning your worth. In this process of rediscovery, you may reflect on the ways you've shown up in your past relationships. Perhaps you notice times when you overextended yourself, giving more than you received, or when you accepted behavior that didn't align with your standards. These realizations aren't meant to bring guilt or regret, they're stepping stones to growth. By acknowledging these patterns, you can start to set healthier boundaries and make choices that honor your needs moving forward. One of the most beautiful aspects of rediscovering your value is the way it transforms your relationship with yourself. You begin to treat yourself with more kindness and compassion, recognizing that you deserve the same love and respect you've so freely given to others. This might look like setting aside time for self-care, pursuing activities that bring you joy, or simply speaking to yourself with gentleness instead of criticism. These small but meaningful acts reinforce the belief that you are worthy, just as you are. As you continue this journey, you may also notice a shift in the way you view the relationship that led you to implement the no contact rule. When you're deeply entangled with someone, it can be easy to idealize them or place them on a pedestal, often at the expense of your own self-image. But as you distance yourself and reconnect with your worth, you begin to see the dynamic more objectively. You recognize that your value was never diminished by their inability to appreciate or reciprocate it. Their actions or inactions are a reflection of them, not you. This clarity empowers you to let go of the need to prove your worth to anyone else. You no longer feel compelled to chase validation or acceptance because you found it within yourself. This doesn't mean you stop caring about relationships. It means you approach them from a place of wholeness rather than lack. You understand that true connection is built on mutual respect and appreciation, not on trying to earn someone's love or approval. Rediscovering your value also reignites your confidence. You start to walk a little taller, speak with more conviction, and make decisions that align with your authentic self. This confidence isn't rooted in arrogance or ego. It's a quiet, steady belief in your own worth. It's the understanding that you bring something special to the table and that anyone who fails to see that isn't a reflection of your value but of their own limitations. This process can have a ripple effect on every area of your life. As you embrace your worth, you're likely to find that you attract healthier, more fulfilling relationships, not just romantically, but also in friendships, family connections, and professional interactions. People who truly value you will be drawn to your authenticity and self-assuredness. Those who don't align with your newfound sense of self may naturally fall away, and that's okay. Their absence creates more room for the right people to enter your life. In the end, rediscovering your value is about coming home to yourself. It's about remembering that you were whole before this relationship, you are whole now, and you will remain whole regardless of what the future holds. It's a journey of self-love and self-respect that not only heals the wounds of the past, but also lays the foundation for a brighter, more empowered future. As you continue to honor the no contact rule, let this time be a gift to yourself, a chance to nurture your soul, celebrate your uniqueness, and embrace the truth that you are enough. You don't need anyone else to complete you. You are already complete. And from this place of inner strength and self-awareness, you can move forward with confidence, knowing that the love and respect you seek from others begins with the love and respect you give to yourself. The journey of implementing the no contact rule often begins with a deep longing, a pull to reach out, to fix, or to chase after the connection that once felt so vital. This is natural. When we've invested emotionally in someone, the idea of detachment can feel counterintuitive, even painful. But as time passes, something extraordinary begins to happen. The intense desire to chase starts to fade, and with it comes a newfound sense of freedom and peace. Initially, this shift might be subtle, almost imperceptible. At first, the urge to check your phone or scroll through old messages might still linger. But as the days go by, you notice that the energy you once poured into worrying, questioning, or hoping begins to dissipate. The constant need to analyze every interaction or anticipate their next move no longer feels as urgent. Instead, a quiet realization emerges: the act of chasing was never about the other person. It was about filling a space within yourself that now you're learning to hold with your own love and care. This fading desire is not a sign of indifference or that the connection didn't matter. On the contrary, it's a sign of healing. It's a reflection of your inner strength and your growing ability to trust the process of life. By choosing not to chase, you're affirming that your well-being is no longer tied to someone else's actions or approval. You're beginning to see that the energy you once invested in chasing can now be redirected toward nurturing yourself and your dreams. There's an empowering truth that surfaces when you let go of the need to chase. You start to understand that love and connection cannot be forced. Genuine relationships are built on mutual respect, appreciation, and effort. They cannot thrive when one person feels compelled to chase while the other retreats. By stepping back, you create space for balance. You allow the dynamic to shift naturally, either toward reconciliation or toward the closure needed to move on. As this transformation unfolds, you may find yourself reflecting on why the urge to chase was so strong in the first place. Was it fear of losing the connection? Was it a desire to prove your worth? These reflections can be illuminating, offering insights into old patterns or wounds that may have influenced your behavior. This self-awareness is a gift, for it helps you break free from cycles that no longer serve you. You begin to realize that your worth isn't tied to how much you fight for someone's attention or affection. It's inherent, unshakable, and entirely yours. The fading of the desire to chase also brings a sense of relief. The exhaustion that often accompanies chasing the emotional highs and lows, the constant overthinking, the self-doubt starts to lift. In its place, there's a growing lightness, a recognition that you no longer have to carry the weight of trying to control the outcome. You can release the need to know what's next and instead focus on what's happening right now. This presence allows you to reconnect with your own life in meaningful ways. You may notice that your focus shifts from what you don't have to what you do. The energy that was once consumed by the act of chasing can now be channeled into pursuits that bring you joy, fulfillment, and purpose. Maybe it's a hobby you've been neglecting, a career goal you've been putting off, or simply the act of reconnecting with friends and loved ones. As you invest in these areas, you begin to see that your happiness doesn't depend on one person or relationship. It's something you can cultivate within yourself, independent of external circumstances. This newfound independence doesn't mean you stop caring about the person you were chasing or the relationship you shared. It simply means that your happiness and self-worth are no longer tethered to their actions. You can hold space for love, gratitude, or even sadness while still choosing to prioritize your own well-being. This balance is a testament to your growth. It shows that you can honor your feelings without letting them dictate your actions. As the desire to chase fades, it's replaced by something even more powerful: self-respect. You start to see the value in standing still and allowing others to meet you where you are rather than running after them. You recognize that relationships should be a meeting of equals, not a pursuit. This shift in perspective changes not only how you approach love, but also how you view yourself. You begin to see yourself as someone worthy of effort, care, and attention, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. Ultimately, the fading of the desire to chase is a step toward reclaiming your power. It's a reminder that you are whole, that you are enough, and that you deserve relationships that reflect these truths. It's a liberation from the need to prove, persuade, or perform. Instead, you're free to simply be, to trust that the right people will come into your life without the need for chasing, and that those who don't value your presence were never meant to stay. So as you move through this process, honor the journey. Celebrate the moments when the urge to chase subsides and recognize them as milestones of healing and growth. Each step you take toward letting go brings you closer to a life rooted in love, authenticity, and peace, starting with the love you give yourself. One of the most profound outcomes of the no-contact rule is the undeniable shift it creates, not just within you, but also in the dynamics of your relationship with the other person. When you remove yourself from the equation, your absence begins to speak volumes. It's often said that people don't realize what they had until it's gone, and the no-contact rule is a living testament to this truth. When you step back, you stop feeding the cycle of engagement that once defined your connection. Whether it was through texts, calls, or moments of shared tension, there was an energy exchange that both of you contributed to. By choosing no contact, you withdraw that energy, creating a void that can no longer be ignored. This absence forces the other person to confront the reality of life without you, and it often makes them more aware of your significance than ever before. At first, they might not notice. The initial days of no contact can feel like a standoff, with both sides adjusting to the silence. But as time goes on, the impact of your absence begins to take root. The routines you once shared, the conversations they grew accustomed to, and the support you offered are no longer there. The spaces you once filled in their life now feel empty. And this emptiness is where realization begins to grow. For some, this realization may come in small, unexpected ways. They might reach for their phone to share something with you, only to remember you're no longer available. Or they might find themselves scrolling through old messages, reliving moments they once took for granted. These seemingly mundane moments carry weight because they reveal how integral you were to their daily life. The absence of your presence also creates a unique kind of reflection. Without the constant interaction, they have the space to truly evaluate what you brought to the relationship. They begin to see the efforts you made, the kindness you showed, and the value you added. What may have seemed ordinary or expected while you were there now feels extraordinary in your absence. This is the paradox of human nature. We often appreciate things most when we no longer have them. Your absence doesn't just highlight what you gave, it also shines a light on what they failed to give in return. Without you there to bridge the gaps or smooth over conflicts, they are left to face the dynamics they contributed to. This period of introspection can be uncomfortable for them, but it's also necessary. It forces them to confront their actions and decisions, perhaps in ways they never had to while you were actively involved. As they notice your absence, they may experience a range of emotions: regret, longing, or even confusion. They might begin to question their own choices, wondering if letting you go was the right decision. These emotions can lead them to reevaluate the relationship, and for some, this may be the turning point that inspires them to reach out or make amends. It's important to note that while their awareness of your absence can be a powerful shift, it is not your responsibility to wait for or depend on their realization. The purpose of no contact is not to manipulate or control someone else's feelings, but to create a space for your own healing and growth. Their response to your absence is secondary to the primary goal of reclaiming your peace and self-worth. However, when they do notice your absence, it also reaffirms your power. It reminds you that your presence was never insignificant. You were not just someone passing through their life, you were a meaningful part of it. This understanding can be deeply validating, especially if you ever doubted your worth or impact. The key is to remain grounded in your decision to prioritize yourself. Their realization, while significant, does not define your value. Whether they choose to reach out or not, your focus should remain on the life you are building for yourself. Use this time to nurture your passions, strengthen your connections with others, and deepen your relationship with yourself. In some cases, the realization of your absence may lead to genuine efforts to reconnect. If this happens, it's essential to approach the situation with clarity and self-awareness. Ask yourself if their intentions align with your needs, and if the relationship has the potential to be healthier moving forward. Your growth during this time will equip you to make decisions that honor your well-being. For others, the awareness of your absence may not result in immediate action, and that's okay too. Not everyone will have the capacity or willingness to recognize and act on what they've lost. Their journey is separate from yours, and your progress is not dependent on their understanding. Ultimately, the most important realization is the one you have about yourself. As they notice your absence, you're rediscovering your presence in your own life. You're reclaiming your energy, your time, and your focus. You're learning that you are whole on your own, and your worth does not diminish based on someone else's ability to see it. Your absence speaks volumes, but your growth speaks louder. Let it be a testament to the strength, resilience, and beauty of who you are. Whether they notice or not, you are moving forward, and that is the greatest victory of all. As you embrace the no-contact rule, a subtle yet profound transformation begins to unfold. You start moving forward with purpose. At first, this shift might feel like a mere whisper, a quiet stirring within, but over time it grows into a steady force. guiding you toward a life filled with intention, clarity, and empowerment. This journey isn't about running away from the past, it's about walking confidently toward a future that aligns with your deepest desires and values. Moving forward with purpose starts with letting go of the distractions that once held you back. The energy you previously spent replaying conversations, analyzing interactions, or hoping for a specific outcome is now redirected toward yourself. This is not an act of selfishness, it's an act of self-preservation and growth. You recognize that your time and energy are finite, and you begin to invest them in ways that nourish your soul and support your goals. The first step in this process is often the most challenging, accepting the situation for what it is. Acceptance doesn't mean that you approve of what happened or that the pain instantly disappears. Instead, it means acknowledging reality without resistance, freeing yourself from the cycle of denial or false hope. With acceptance comes clarity, and with clarity comes the ability to take deliberate steps forward. As you move forward, you start to define what truly matters to you. The space created by no contact allows you to reconnect with your passions, dreams, and aspirations, things that may have been overshadowed or forgotten during the relationship. You might find yourself drawn to activities that once brought you joy or exploring new interests that excite and inspire you. This rediscovery of self is a powerful reminder that your identity is not tied to anyone else but is uniquely your own. With each passing day, your sense of direction becomes clearer. You begin setting goals that reflect your values and aspirations, whether they're related to your career, personal growth, or relationships. These goals are no longer about impressing someone else or proving your worth. They are about creating a life that feels authentic and fulfilling to you. This shift in focus is transformative as it shifts your energy from external validation to internal alignment. Moving forward with purpose also means embracing the lessons learned from the past. Every experience, no matter how painful, holds wisdom. By reflecting on the relationship and your role within it, you gain valuable insights into your patterns, boundaries, and needs. These lessons become guideposts, helping you navigate future relationships with greater self-awareness and confidence. You realize that the challenges you faced were not obstacles meant to break you, but stepping stones designed to shape you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. As you continue on this path, you'll notice a growing sense of empowerment. The decision to prioritize yourself and your well-being is a bold and courageous act. It sends a powerful message not just to others but also to yourself that you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness. This newfound confidence radiates from within, influencing the way you carry yourself, the choices you make, and the energy you attract. In this journey, you may encounter moments of doubt or setbacks. Moving forward with purpose doesn't mean that the process is always linear or easy. There may be times when the past tugs at you, tempting you to look back or question your progress. These moments are natural, and they don't diminish the strides you've made. What matters is how you respond. Instead of being derailed, you acknowledge the feelings, learn from them, and keep moving forward. One of the most beautiful aspects of this transformation is the ripple effect it creates. As you align with your purpose and values, you begin to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that resonate with your authentic self. You may find yourself surrounded by individuals who uplift and inspire you rather than those who drain your energy. This shift is not a coincidence, it's a reflection of the inner work you've done and the boundaries you've set. Moving forward with purpose also fosters a deep sense of peace. When you stop chasing after what's no longer meant for you, you create space for what is. This peace isn't about avoiding challenges or emotions, it's about trusting that you are exactly where you need to be and that everything is unfolding as it should. It's about embracing the journey even when the destination isn't entirely clear. Ultimately, moving forward with purpose is about reclaiming your power and stepping into your own light. It's about realizing that your worth is not defined by your past or by anyone else's actions. You are not a victim of your circumstances, you are the architect of your future. Each step you take is a declaration of your strength, resilience, and commitment to yourself. This journey is not about forgetting or erasing what came before. It's about integrating those experiences into the fabric of who you are and using them to propel you toward a brighter, more fulfilling future. With every choice you make, you are writing a new chapter in your story, one filled with purpose, passion, and endless possibilities. And in doing so, you are not just moving on, you are moving forward with grace, intention, and unwavering belief in your own worth. As you embrace the no contact rule, remember this: it's not about punishing someone else, it's about healing and rediscovering the beauty of who you are. Every step you take in silence is a step closer to your power. Trust the process because it's working, even if you can't see all the results just yet. You are deserving of love, peace, and respect, and it all begins within you. Keep going. You are on the path to your highest good.